If you're struggling with haircuts and you don't really know what to do, or you're just trying to figure out the shape, let me help you. So all haircuts are made up of 3 shapes. That's it. So you have triangular, square, and round. So if you can break down the head in different sections and say, am I doing a square line, a triangular line, or a round line, then you can pretty much figure out any haircut. You won't be stressed if a client is like, I wanted something different, or I want this done with it. So if you can understand the fundamentals of hair, so I'm gonna start with the top, and I'm gonna show you a triangular line, and then a square line, and then a round line. So I'm coming up here, and I'm angling my fingers up a little bit. And of course, you can definitely do triangular the other way, but a lot of haircuts that I do are shorter by the cowlick and then longer towards the front. So I'm just lifting my fingers up and the bangs don't reach. So I ran out of hair, but this is triangular line, right? Longer, shorter, triangle. Now we're gonna do a square. So starting at the same spot, lifting up, I can see where it starts to go up. Cut it off. I'm pointing my fingers at the floor so I know that it's square. Just making that fully square line. And so what that's doing is it's going to make the bang area slightly shorter than the triangular shape, but you're still gonna have length because the head rounds down. So now if we were to do a round shape, it would go with the head shape. So you're just cutting off and you're going, I'm not looking at the top, I'm looking at the bottom. I'm looking at where this guide is so I can make sure that the center of my section is following the head shape. So I know that I'm getting a true round line. And so because I'm following the head shape here, this is going to be closer to the head, meaning there's no corners, right? So all round. Round, square, triangular, or triangular. Now I'm going to show you the side and see what that looks like. All right, so you also have to make sure that your client's head is placed how you want it, whether that is for the angle that you're cutting or for ergonomics so you don't hurt yourself. If they were tilted and I was trying to create a square, it wouldn't create a square, right? So if they were tilted, it would mean that this up here would be shorter and then it would get longer, so it would be more triangular if their head was tilted. So you really have to make sure that they're, exactly where you need them to be. So if we were to do a triangular shape, I'm gonna point my fingers out a little bit, and then it's gonna be shorter towards the top of the head. So a lot of internal layers and then leaving the external. If I were to do a square, I would be pointing my fingers towards the floor and cutting that angle or that corner that we just created. And we're creating more corners, right? Because the head rounds up here. So this is going to be heavier. And because this is closer to where we cut it, it's going to be slightly shorter. Or the more you go up on the head and the more you pull out, heavier it's going to be up top. And then if we were to follow the head shape, we would cut that corner off, making it more blended. And the head doesn't really go in on the side of the head, and so it doesn't really change the bottom as much. Now, for the back, when we do triangular, we can do triangular, right? Which is like shags, layers, internal layers, longer perimeter. If we were to do an inverted triangle here, it would be more graduated bobs, stuff like that. So because this is convex, right? So the head shape rounds down, and then you have this point, and then you have the concave point, so this goes in. So the more length, right? The more we pull out, the longer and heavier this is going to be. So I'm gonna pull this out. Triangular shape. You're just building that length towards the bottom. And the reason I'm teaching you this is because once you figure out and understand this stuff, you can build any haircut you want. You can say, oh, I need to cut off this corner, or I need to keep this corner. So now I'm gonna create a square shape, and I'm making sure that I'm pointing my fingers towards the floor. And so because I'm creating a box on the back of the head. This is gonna be longer because the head rounds up. This is gonna be shorter because this is where the occipital bone pokes out. And this is gonna be longer because this is where the head caves in. But if I were to do a round round shape, I would pull all of this up because this is coming off the center. So you wanna hold your section exactly center to your section and your parting. And then if we were to follow the head shape, I'm gonna tilt them down a bit. It's going to go in towards the head shape a little bit more. I would cut this differently in the shop because this feels a little bit awkward, but I'm following the head shape down here, making this shorter now because if I'm following the head shape, this goes in, and so we're going to be tapering that line just a little bit. I hope this helps. The more you learn, the more you know, the more comfortable you are behind the chair. So let me know how this landed for you, and I hope to see you in the next one.